All right, you guys got to see me just a little bit early on that one. It's a rough morning, I'll tell you that. Crazy day yesterday. I killed the music. We're going to get straight down to business. Let's see. What a late night. Yes, it was. Golden Mom. Thank you for being here in chat. I just want to show everybody that Golden Mom is a repeat offender and has once again won the internet for another day. I've got to fix this. Everything's messed up from last night. I don't know what I did. Apparently, there I am. Now I'm better. Golden Mom, congratulations being first in chat. You have won the internet. And you not only just did you win the internet, but you came in with the second in chat as well, just in case the first bid was not accepted. So you're definitely the winner today. Again, congratulations. You did a great job yesterday. So I'm fine with you having it 2 days in a row, or 3, I think, at this point. Wakey, Jay Hughes, good to have you here. The sun is up, and so I am up, as it says in Frozen, the video. Good morning, Katrina. Good morning, Anne. She's got treats for everybody all around. Good morning, everyone. How y'all? Did you guys survive? It was a late night last night. Weather Watch, good to have you here. Good morning, you wonderful people. What a late night, am I right? Matthew, it was crazy. It was crazy. I went back and watched the part we skipped, basically, the big, beefy, bald dude with the beard. Is that enough B's? Is there enough alliteration in that? The big, beefy, bald dude with a beard, who was a relative of one of the, I think he was the brother of one of the women that was killed in the Juan David Ortiz killing spree, I guess you could call it. Goes back and holy cow, did you hear his story? He's got his dad was murdered, his mom was murdered, and now his only sister has been murdered. But not just that, he at one time was convicted of murder and spent years in prison and got out on a parole hearing. He got out, and the sister of the person he murdered wrote him a letter and said, "I forgive you." And so, standing there in the courtroom, he says to Juan David Ortiz, "I've stood where you stood. He said, I've been there, and I forgive you." Crazy, just unbelievable, amazing. And he was the one who said he was the one who went to the district attorney and said, "I want you to consider not going for the death penalty in this case." The sun just turned it up a notch, like all the way up to 11. It's coming right on my face right here, so it's a little bit rough. Are there any live trials today, says Anne? Yes, we've got a little bit. We've got a hearing for Courtney Clenny, who was the OnlyFans model accused of murder, accused of stabbing her boyfriend to death. She says she threw the knife. The prosecution might have other descriptions of how it occurred. But either way, he got stabbed and died, and now she's on trial. Well, she's trying to get out on bond. She wants to be out of jail before the court case starts. And, you don't blame her. It's a long time to sit in jail, but she has resources. She has the ability to make a lot of money very quickly. She has name recognition. She's very well known, and she can work from anywhere in the world. And so the prosecution is going to be saying she's a flight risk. She will up and run. You will never see her again. You will not be able to get her back if you let her go. So we're going to listen in on that case. I think we've got just, let's see here. How long do we have? About 24 minutes before that one is expected to go live. And we'll cover that one as it happens, just so we can see what happens. That's called an Arthur hearing that she's having tonight, or this morning. Last night was crazy and very short for how long we waited. Isabella, the contrast of what we saw last night to what we saw during, say, like discs 1 through 7 was stunning. Last night, Texas did not mess around. Matthews told us, he said, we don't mess around on here. Once the jury came back with the verdict, there was the judge had no consideration for the press at all. There was not hey, let's make sure all the cameras get up and running and everyone's ready to go. Nope, not at all. They walk in the door. The first thing we hear is we've been told the jury has a verdict, bring him in, type thing. And that's the warning we got. So the amount of time it took for the jury to get from the jury room into the courtroom, that was the warning. They hand the judge the verdict. He reads it and says they found him guilty of capital murder, which is the highest crime that they charged. And guilty, so the automatic penalty is life in prison without parole. Done. And, I'm sentencing you to this. Do you want to appeal? Yes. Okay. Do you want a public defender? Yes. All right. We'll take care of that. Is there any comments from victims at statements? Yes, we had, a handful of those, and then he's gone. And it was all over in like half an hour or so. It was bizarre. Very, very fast. Wild ride for sure. Good morning, Lindsay. Good morning, fellow addicts. Sunny Florida mom, good morning. We're actually going to be going to Florida today, virtually, of course, for the OnlyFans model case in the Miami area. Miss Chris, good morning. Ginger, good to have you here as well. Carol, MB's in the house. Tish, Laura, Carly, hello, love from Scotland. We love Scotland checking in. Scotland, Ireland, anything over there in the UK area is welcome, and beyond, of course. I don't think we've had anyone from some of the Scandinavian countries. We still need like Denmark and Norway, Finland, maybe. Amber, good morning. Lori, Lori says it's a sunny morning, and it is. I can testify to that. It's been in my eyes, just regaining my vision right now. Linda, Michelle, a couple of you, I need to say thank you, first of all. A couple of you really were on the ball in keeping me up to date on the burner phone as things broke last night while I was off at a meeting. It was crazy. Kathy says he broke me. That's when I started ugly crying. Yeah, that was tough. That was really tough to watch. I went back and watched it, and I was right there with you. That was just incredible. It was powerful. Just to understand that he sees this from both perspectives. From being the one who, it sounds like, made an awful decision and took somebody's life, or in some way. I don't know how it happened. I don't know if it was accidental. I don't know if it was intentional. But and then being on the receiving end so many times, 3 times over, for the same, and being able to forgive. Rhonda says, was watching DUI Guy. He read Ben Chu's response to Amber Heard BS. It was amazing. Ben Chu for president. Yeah, there's a lot of Amber Heard BS. Which one did he read? Good morning, Stephen Lee. Good to have you this morning. It's rainy and foggy, 60 degrees, says Mac Marine. It is a tremendous Thursday. More alliteration. We'll be watching from TV, so no chat from you, but good to have you here, Marine. Is Scott the judge on the Ortiz case in disguise? Where are you at, Scott? Am I missing? Or was that... Matthew, can you see me? I'm right here. I feel like I'm invisible. I don't see her getting bail. She will do a runner. I agree with you, Ferry. That's my idea. But the judge said she's going to decide today, and here in a little bit. It may be a quick hearing. There might not be much to watch because some of the arguments have already been made. It might just be an announcement, sort of open and shut. 6 a.m. came so early. Love the RA notification sounds at the same time as my alarm. I try to make it almost precise, but I was watching the update out of. I was watching actually a court TV update about the Idaho murders, and they picked up, I think it's the Aaron Dean trial. Just giving a quick recap of the Aaron Dean trial. I might play that for you really quickly just to get a recap, because we missed the first 3 days of trial, and now they've gone and rested. The prosecution's rested, so it was super quick. They're not going to be having trial today. I think the judge had other things on his docket today and tomorrow. So those 2 days are off, and they'll pick that one up on Monday, which we'll probably catch for the defense side of that. There are 2 of me, says Ann. There are. I apologize. There's just so much sun that it's hard. Oh, it's behind a cloud, so we'll take it. I just didn't want to blow out your screens with just so much brightness. They're replacing power poles on my street today, so I'll be without power all day. That should be fun at 29 degrees, says Katrina. That's really chilly. They've done that on my street as well, without warning. The power went out, and I went outside to see, who else was poking their head out the door saying what happened, and there they are cutting down the telephone pole. And I'm like, all right, I guess we're just going to wait. But they did come over eventually and say, sorry, it's going to be out for a little while. I'm like, it's okay. I just work from home. Recovery Addict. Matthew Harris did a fantastic job keeping us all in chat. He's amazing. I appreciate you guys being there in chat. I saw that you guys were watching. I think most of you were watching on another channel and chatting on this in the holding room, and that was really neat to see. Appreciate that. Good morning, Vietnam, says Charlie Peterson, or RA in chat. Right? It's almost the same thing. It's a war in here, Charlie, every day. Yeah, brutal. 29 degrees, no power. Make sure your devices are all charged before they turn them off, so you can be with us. But you'll have to be on like a cell signal because your internet router will lose power too, I imagine. Instead of a knife throwing, the model should have learned how to play hide and seek. Right. At least then she would have it wasn't intentional. Knives are pretty intentional, especially when you sink it deep into their shoulder and cut an artery or major vein or something. Build you a fire, Katrina, right in the front yard. So the power lineman can see how cold you are and what you have to do to stay warm. Good morning, Coffee Mom. Good to have you. Mal, Brittany Griner was released. Why is that name so familiar? I can't type anything with a B, by the way, on my keyboard. It's getting a little more stubborn. American Professional Hospital. She's the one in Russia, right? She was imprisoned in Russia. She played college basketball. And yeah, she sort of got a little mouthy about things, but she's freed in a prisoner swap with Russia. Who did we give? Who was our ace in the hole that made Russia want to give up Brittany? That's crazy. I'll have to look into that. Katrina, we'll have a fire, so we'll all come over and have marshmallows, Katrina. It sounds like a plan. Did the judge release the jury last night before the sentencing? I believe he did. I didn't hear it, but the camera sure did pan around quite a bit, especially during the victim statements. I think they were the jury was excused as soon as they gave the verdict and said, after they were polled, so say we won, so say we all, they were done. Because it seemed like we saw the area where they were seated being empty during some of the victim statements. Laura says, Recovery Addict, good morning. Wishing you a wonderful Wednesday. But it's Thursday, Laura. Don't back me up 24 hours. Wednesday was rough enough. Let's go on to the next day. MB says, wouldn't it be fairly easy to track down OnlyFans model if she's posting videos? I probably don't understand OnlyFans. MB, yeah, they could probably locate her, but they're probably countries that wouldn't extradite her. She could probably go somewhere where she could live out her life in relative freedom and not have any risk of being dragged back to the U.S. to face justice. Good day from Australia, from down under. Hello, Lee. Thanks for being here, Lee. Or Lee here, Lee. Tom R. is in the house as well. Mac, welcome. We got you already, Mac, but we'll do it again. Prayers and virtual hugs to Lori. We're thinking of you. I know there are a couple people in chat in this group that are going through some heavy things, some rough times in life, some with medical issues with family members or themselves, and otherwise. So just know that you're more than a name on the page. You belong here. You've got a little community of friends that we do care about each other, and we're thinking about you. You're in our prayers, and we hope things turn upward for you soon. Golden Girls in the house. Depp's response is what he did. We should watch. It's fan freaking tasting, says Amber. Amber's a Depp trial fan. Did Ortiz get life? Yes, he did. Life without parole. It was the only. It was the minimum mandatory for a capital murder conviction, which is what he got. The capital murder is basically saying that you committed more than two murders in two different times as part of this, in a batch type thing. They weren't completely unrelated, but as soon as they said that it was guilty on two charges, and they saw that they were connected, that became capital murder. And so they didn't have to get 4 individual murder charges, with each one being life without parole. As a matter of fact, the 4 individual charges, I think, could have had the possibility of parole, but with it being capital murder, there was life without parole as the minimum mandatory. Be surprised if she gets bail, but again, it's a Florida case. It is, and we'll be checking in here just in a few minutes to see how that hearing goes. Lori says, just stop by to say hello. Going to lie down a while. Try to catch you in a bit and later. Lori, get some rest. We're thinking of you. Please get feeling better. Who just asked me to do something? Tom says, please do blow my screen out. How are you fine this morning? What's on the docket? The screen, we've got a little bit of cloud cover right now, but it's still very bright in my eyes. I feel like my eyes are dilated and the sun is just glaring. But maybe it was just because it was a late night and it's still an early morning. What's on the docket this morning? We're talking about a couple things. Let me play this for you. Actually, while we're waiting for OnlyFans, we're going to take a look at. Let me get everything ready so it happens seamlessly. Right, this is the idea. Switcher 2, 3, right there.
North Texas police officer responds to a call from a concerned neighbor in the middle of the night who noticed his neighbor's front door wide open. Tonight, we'll show the body cam footage of the officer approaching the house and killing the woman inside, the babysitter, to our own law enforcement expert. What went wrong? Did he follow protocol?
Put your hands up. Show me your hands.
Okay, so I believe that is the Aaron Dean trial. That's my understanding. The police show up to a 911 call. A neighbor calls 911 because the door's open. The police show up, look through the window, and shoot the babysitter. Crazy. Love this group, says Ginger Meadows. We love it as well. We love you being here, Ginger. Would not be the same without you. Terry, that's right. That's downright wrong, turning power off in 20-degree weather. They must have a reason, right? There's probably something that is going to break and could be worse if they don't take care of it now. Okay, so I'm just catching up to where you're talking about the basketball girl who got released from Russia. On a prisoner swap, who would we trade? Yes, there was a trade for her. Pro tip, don't try to smuggle drugs into Russia. Just as a general, that's generally a good idea, Charlie. Russia doesn't mess around with that, especially when they're, political points to be scored with an American prisoner. Brittany, Victor Bout was the guns guy. We gave an arms dealer. We traded a basketball dealer for an arms dealer. Who won in this trade? I mean, do we need a poll? Did Russia or the U.S. win in this trade? A little bit of rubbing alcohol sprayed on sticky keyboard keys will help. Well, Stephen, the problem is I put a lot of water on the keyboard, and it's something inside the keyboard. The G key is almost back to full brightness, I will say that, but the B key is not functioning as it should. Mac, there's a lot of political ramifications around this Brittany case out of Russia, and it's crazy. But a lot of people felt that she didn't deserve any special help from the U.S. getting free from her, penalty that she'd face in a foreign country. But that's what the U.S. does when we have a U.S. citizen that gets in trouble with the law. A lot of times they step in and try to help out. But she did a fair amount of time there. I'm thinking she's a little bit nervous. Maybe she has a different perspective on America now. Katrina, glad you have a fireplace. Hope the power won't be out all day. Yeah, maybe they're faster than normal. You never know. Okay, Stephen Lee, I can't even read that. I'm not sure what you were saying. But it should have been fan-freaking-tastic. But we liked it the way it was, Amber. We had fan-freaking tasting, which in the morning, that's all right. We can have fan-freaking tasting. Charlie says, Recovery Addict, please keep celebrity trials off the channel or you'll lose me for one. I couldn't care less. All right, I'll keep the political ones off, but sometimes some of the celebrity ones, when they have an element that's really interesting, we'll try to follow. And maybe if there's nothing else as well. But this OnlyFans one, she's not a celebrity to me. I've never heard of her before we heard this, so we'll see what happens. I've been following that trial. Richard Davis says, methinks you need a way to block that direct sun. I actually have a large framed picture that I've set up in the window, and it covers about 3/4 of the window, but there's still about a quarter of it where the sun just shines through. I don't have a big enough picture. Charlie Pearson says, Dean was a bad shot. He was sneaking around. I'd have grabbed a gun too. Who's Dean? Are you talking about Dean Cummings? Because he was a bad shot with several of the rounds, but a few of them struck home. Babysitter did have a gun, and we heard, I believe the testimony we didn't hear on the channel, but the young boy Zion, I think is his name, that testified was that the babysitter's gun was down, was not raised when the police fired through the window and killed her. We gave a Russia arms dealer. That still blows me away. Basketball player for a Russian arms dealer. So we'll give you your arms dealer if you give us our drug smuggler back. That's what the U.S. is announcing to the world. We really value pro sports is really what it boils down to. Russia always wins. Well, Charlie, they're willing to play dirtier than we are, I think, at least on the up and up. There may be some stuff under the radar where the U.S. plays pretty dirty, but Russia has a lower bar, a lower threshold they try to meet. Pot smoker for an arms guy. Yeah, I think it was marijuana. I'm not only marijuana. Clearly, marijuana is illegal in Russia. Smuggling it in is illegal. So I'm not going to say it's only. It was drugs. It's classified as drugs. It still is here in the U.S., federal at least. Some states have legalized it. This is the one time I have the ability to remain silent. I have a lot to say about Brittany Griner, but I won't. Well, Kathy, I appreciate you exercising your right to remain silent. As long as it's appropriate, though, feel free to share. We just don't want to have too much of back and forth and a political battle. Babysitter was a CCW holder and brandished a firearm. Didn't follow orders, confusion, and all this happened at a time of political racial tensions. Right, there's undercurrents of all sorts of stuff in here. Mal says, y'all, she had THC tincture prescribed by a doctor for joint pain, hardly smuggling. I know, I realized that it wasn't like a bag of weed. It wasn't like, a bunch of bud type thing. It was something prescribed by a doctor, but it's not legal in Russia, and it arguably is illegal, in some states and federally as well. THC is the active ingredient or the main ingredient in marijuana that produces a high type effect as well as other things. Very effective for treating many things, including pain, according to people. I've not tried it, so I can't vouch for that. I'm glad she got out. Says Last Poet. Yeah. Well, we're getting really close to seeing our trial. We've got 5 minutes for the Courtney Clenny hearing, so I'll keep an eye on that. But let's see. 80s Music Man said, I'm so glad I was not the first. I love the internet, but I'm out of bleach now. You did a great job for when you had it, 80s Music Man, and you got it for a full day when you were expecting a half day. And I appreciate you just stepping up to the plate and getting the job done. Charlie says, no Depp and Heard. Yeah, I'm probably not going to go there. That's a rough one. There's too much acting in that one. MB says, recovery addict. I've never heard of OnlyFans before this trial, and I still don't know the model's name. The model's name is Courtney Clenny, but it's fine that you'd never heard of OnlyFans. You can, if you only hear of OnlyFans from this trial, you've probably heard enough. You don't need to go there and figure out what it is because you might regret it. Aaron Dean that shot the babysitter was a bad shooting. Charlie, I didn't hear. If you've been watching the trial, I think his police partner, testified as well. It's a female officer that he was partnered with that testified for the state, right? Because the defense hasn't gone yet. What did she say? I wasn't able to follow because that was happening during the trial we were following out of Texas, or the other trial out of Texas. What did she say? Was it a smoking gun? Did she say, yeah, it was? I didn't see why he saw it. Did she toe the line and back him up? Was the cop in uniform? I believe he was. He was responding to a call. All right, parts of my shirt are invisible. Huh. I rekeyed this morning Let's see. I can see it's getting cut off, but I don't see the invisible parts. Maybe it's in the different lighting. But I adjusted the chroma key this morning to try to correct it. But apparently I didn't do a very good job. I'm flashing. Look at the microphone. The reflection on the microphone is catching the light off my green screen. And it's sparkling. It's a added, what is it? It's like a undocumented feature. I think that's the word for it officially. It will fix itself as the light changes, as lighting changes. Anyway, Griner had a game over there and something, and she had a reefer vape cartridge with her. So she smuggled drugs and was sentenced to 9 years in a Russian penal colony and spent 10 months before release. Amber, I don't argue with the fact that Russia came down hard on her for something that seemed like a very small offense. A very small offense. This wasn't her trying to deal drugs to the Russian citizens and smuggle things in. It did seem to be an inadvertent type thing, but it was still a violation of the law. But it's, yeah, interesting. Well, she's out now, right? Is she back in the country yet, or is she just on her way? There's no proof of a green light or that she pointed the gun, says Zen Dreaming. Are you talking about the Aaron Dean trial? Max says, please spray us down before you send us to Knoxville again. We did watch a Knoxville intake arraignment that was pretty rough. The lady clearly has been suffering from the effects of some illegal drug use, most likely meth, is my guess. But it's a lot. Victim pointed a gun with a green laser. Charges should never have been brought. We'll have to look at that. We'll pick up that case on Monday. That's when it's happening. But right now we're about to go to Miami for a Courtney Clenny hearing, which could be open and shut. The judge just might rule on this, or we might hear more arguments. The babysitter case is a sad one for sure. And the fact that a kid was there and watched the whole thing, I mean, it's tragic already, but it seems to be even worse when kids are involved. She fooled around and found out that not all countries worship their athletes. Well, we did her right in the end, right? We got her out. After 10 months, that's a long time to be sitting in a Russian prison. And Russia's court system, man, if you ever want to look at something that's really unique and hard to grasp, I think it's much more guilty until proven innocent. I mean, in court, you show up and they have like a jail cell in the courtroom. You're sitting there behind the bars. None of this, we want to protect the image for the jury because there isn't a jury. It's just the judge and it's just, bam, they just hit you. You're guilty when they arrest you. Nothing is legal in Russia except vodka. The Americans, they are here. I know a few Russian words, and vodka is one of them. How do we get over the last trial, says CG in Texas? Well, we get over it by taking another hit on another trial. It's why we're called addicts. We can't really recover from what we saw. We just have to dive in deeper. What are we watching? What is it about, Recovery Addicts? Ashley, we're watching OnlyFans model murder case. This is the Arthur hearing for Courtney Clenny. She's the OnlyFans, what do you call this? She's a content creator of sorts. It's a explicit content creator on OnlyFans, which is a website that really was, when it was first created, it actually, I think they even said they didn't want any pornographic type material on there at all. They tried to say, no, we just want people to, like say I work with clay and make these really cool bowls, and I want to make a video of me making all these little cool clay bowls, and you can watch me. I bet you would pay to subscribe to the channel so you could watch, and it was to be a pay service, right? So you become a member, you pay me every month, and then you can watch the videos of me making these clay bowls. Well, it's a great idea, right? And believe it or not, I've heard on OnlyFans and that there are. We're going to take this feed right now because it just came live. There are actual businesses that do that aren't adult related. Let me turn it down just a tiny bit. Hot mic, which I like, but it's really hot. Look at this. This is called a white balance. What you're seeing right here, this is a good cameraman. Now we see some true colors because the camera has adjusted to the lighting for on white. Okay, anyway, there are some companies that have legitimate non-adult material out on OnlyFans from what I've heard. I have not been there ever, but they charge a service, so you can a fee every month, and she did this with pornography. So that's what it was. But because she has the ability to, there she is. There's Courtney Clenny right there. Because she has the ability to make money very easily with just a webcam and the internet connection, and she has millions of dollars. They're saying she should not get a bond because she will flee the country. She'll find a way out. She'll get out of here. I mean, probably even without a passport, and just disappear. We wouldn't see her again. So that's what we're watching here today. Let me bring the audio back up. They have her seated in the jury box. Sorry, the judge told us not to talk. Judge Laura Sharon Cruz. We're hearing the audio from the onboard camera.
Good morning, Courtney Knox for the state. As to this case, we're requesting a reset to the 33rd day.
12-12.
In F2221458, the state filed a line down information and requests this case be transferred to county court.
Okay, so they're going through other business. This is like just quick paperwork before we get started.
The state is requesting a reset to the 45th day.
12-13.
And thank you for the super chat. Would a split trial be too difficult to cover? OnlyFans and Boone? I could do it, but you would go insane. So this is other business they're handling right now. Randall, sorry. Randall, a split trial might be difficult to cover because we'd have to get both audio feeds. And just to give you an idea what it would sound like, Randall, it would sound like this right here. Ready?
Juan David Ortiz,
accused of killing 4 women.
Ortiz carried out these.
See, and you just can't hear what's going on.
Are the rest of them printing on this calendar though? Because it looks like I only have C.
No, Judge, not yet.
Are they all?
Randall, thank you for the super chat, by the way. I appreciate your support of the channel.
12-15 for Raymond.
Judge, I can stand on this Gallego, but
The defendant looks better than she looked on previous occasions. Like, I mean, not like makeup and hair done, but she seems more composed.
One of the attorneys is here from Ms. Gallego.
Okay. Ms. Gallego has been charged with 1 count of racketeering.
So, Anne, also thank you for the super chat. You do make this a great place as well, so I appreciate what you do. Thank you for the support of the channel, Anne. Is there a box fort in the courtroom? Who saw that?
In the first degree, there are 3 counts of grand theft in the first degree, 2 counts of grand theft in the second degree, 2 counts of grand theft in the third degree, and finally 1 count of fabricating physical evidence.
Stephen Lee likes this judge, Judge Cruz. So he'll be here for the full trial, I think.
There is $1 million in restitution.
Alright, so right now let's go ahead and do the county audits.
right, Judge, we stand on our written pleadings and we ask Your Honor that, well, we demand discovery at this point.
That is a box fort if I've ever seen one.
Second case, that is set 2-2-2-13.
And then for Ms. Rogers,
was charged with 1 count of racketeering in the first degree, 1 count of grand theft in the first degree, 1 count of grand theft in the second degree, and 1 count of grand theft in the third degree.
The Boone trial is the suitcase murder, Sarah Boone. That starts, we'll have a hearing on the 20th, and then, so in 12 days, and then we'll have the trial starting on the 30th of January.
Your Honor, Bruno needs to be after the state. I was wondering if I can call a case that's not on calendar but out of turn. It's Matthew Davis, case number F226067. Officer is here. Officer Herrera is here.
Good morning, Your Honor.
They're just burning through this business.
It's F226067.
This is an upgraded box fort, by the way. It has the 4-box version, not just the 3 one that was the standard. The fort's higher than DV's.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Right. Yes, anybody else in court before I go to the court?
Yes, Your Honor, I've got 2 matters. The first on page 26, Mr. Osvaldo Leiva, Judge, Rick Hermita on his behalf.
Yes, Sean Abbioff on behalf of the state. Judge, the state's not ready, and I believe defense is also okay with a joint continuance at this time.
That's correct, Your Honor. We did have an Arthur hearing. Discovery is ongoing, so.
They're not ready?
3-8.
Thank you. And the other case I have is on page 29, Mr. David Herrera Cruz. And Judge, I need to set depositions in this case. It's one that kind of fell into the cracks.
I forgot this one.
The state would be ready, but no objection.
This is how the sausage is made, guys.
3-2. 3-13.
The guy who's shouting the dates, when they say, I'm going to set it out for 90 days, he's saying what the date is.
I have a few matters. I'm going to call a couple of them for now. Page 29 is Rahinia Pierre, Jonathan Jordan.
Okay, we thought Texas was fast, but these guys have burned through business through about 15 different cases this morning already in the last 5 minutes.
Presumed defense is not ready. They're still pending the deposition of the victim, and a rule to show cause was actually filed last night. It was asked that it be held in advance. We'll set her one more time to see if we can get that done. We'll go from there. Hello? I don't think it is.
It's great.
I'll try to keep my voice up.
I don't think this one's on either. Can you hear?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to, so you're saying the rule shows cause was filed by you or by?
We filed one yesterday, Judge. Witness failed to appear, and then there's the victim's death that's outstanding.
Yes.
All right, I will grant, are you okay with that?
That's fine, given the victim's failure to appear.
This is like Grand Central Station. People are just walking in and out of court all over the place.
3-13.
Okay. I have page 13 and 14 is George Jones Jr., Jonathan Jordan on his behalf. This is Suzanne Gonzalez in this case for the state. I don't know if she's on Zoom or left any notes.
I don't have.
Are you on Zoom?
We've got people on Zoom, a bunch of people on Zoom. We don't have that connection feed.
Okay.
I can reach out.
Courtney's still there behind the attorney on the right.
If I can call another matter? Yes. On page 24 is Sophia King, Jonathan Jordan on her behalf. We have 24. We have I know we have the victim's deposition outstanding, and I think there's one other civilian that the
And
state...
an eyewitness, but the state is otherwise not ready, so no objection for joint continuance.
That's an unfortunate name, Sophia King. There's a lot of jokes that are very similar to that name.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm going to pass my other matters. Check with the state on it. Thank you.
Clenny's gone. She left. She left the courtroom. Which one of those cases? Which one of those cases was it? Was it a 90-day? Is that the one where they said, we need 90 days? We're going to push it out. Now I've got to look at the record. I'm not sure if it's even updated yet.
Judge, I am asking asking for a continuance. This is a case where we've had sporadic contact with the victim. We believe we know where he is. My detective is working on locating him now, but he's currently out of office and we'll be searching for him over the weekend.
This is bizarre.
Judge, having been in the state's shoes many, many years ago, I have no objection to
Well, I'm going to allow one further state continuance based on this.
Catlaw says this is normal. This is what we don't see, right? This is case management status days are. I'm hoping there's a little more information that's provided in Sarah Boone's status hearing, but I imagine there won't be because she's the same state.
Prior counsel was rejected, but I'm happy to speak with defense counsel and try to see if there's anything we can resolve from that.
There's a new inmate brought in. He has the right to be there in court, right? During any hearing, regardless of how quick it is. And so does she. But head spinning.
Good morning, Judge Cruz. This is Attorney Saul Zangane. I'm representing Marcos Morales. He's on page 17. Maybe I should have started with page number.
She's got to earn some money to pay for her lawyer really quickly. These folks are making Texas look sort of good.
The state is not ready. Yes, the minor victim and her mother. We've previously had very good contact with them. It appears they've changed their phone numbers. I'm just trying to reestablish that contact.
Judge, I'm working with the government to try to resolve this. I'm not going to object to a continuance at this point.
This is a 4-year-old case they're talking about right here. The state's not ready. They can't find the victims. Bizarre. Okay, crazy stuff. A 4-year-old case. We're going to... Richard's like, I'm confused. I'm confused. I think Catlaw is the only one who's following along, and maybe Matthew Harris. It's like, yeah, this is normal. This is like a regular day in the office.
February, early March. So if we are going to get a March date, if we can have it at the end of March.
I want to know what's in the boxes. I was hoping they would at least do like a grand reveal or something live on camera.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. I have several matters on this morning. I know that
He has a good voice.
Valdez. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it on the calendar. I will call the other ones first.
It's 38, Judge. Pablo Mena Valdez. And Sean, I have you off on behalf of the state.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and drop this. As interesting as it is, it's just mayhem. I mean, it's a very organized mayhem.
I did turn over all of my discovery within the last 15 days or so. I have no issue to a joint continuance.
The law and crime cameraman's like, I don't know where she went. She was there a minute ago. Now she's gone. Did we miss it? It was a lightning fast hearing. We're gonna have to check the notes. Let me actually check the. Let's see where we're at. Let me pull up the Miami-Dade clerk case search page. We're going to do a quick research on this. Back to search. Go forward. Okay, the case number on this one is F22014-137. So let's do a quick search on that name, or that number. Okay, I'm going to find out what happened. Maybe it's already updated in the system. They have a really good system down there. State case number F. What was it? 132? What did I say? 141, 137. Okay. Come on. I'm failing. I'm failing at this. 4 boxes of pickles for the court, TW says. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, those are for us. They just delivered them to the court instead of to my office. But that was nuts. Holy crap. That was super fast. Freezing in Utah still. Let's see. Go back to this case and the hearing. We had the hearing on 12/8. Can we refresh this page? I'm pulling up the details on the case right now. It shows, okay, Judge Laura Cruz, we've got that. What are the hearing? It still hasn't been updated. The court clerk is taking her time. She's had minutes to do this. And nope. Okay, so we'll have to check. We think we missed it. Not that we missed what happened. We heard it all, but it was very quick. They asked for a continuance. I think was it a 90-day continuance, Anita? Because I heard it sounded like there was a 90-day continuance asked for. The state said they're not ready, or something to that nature. You got a 90-day continuance. A 90-day continuance on the bail. So bail was denied. The judge said she said she would rule on that by today. So why was it not ruled? I think the defense said we want to stand by our filings on this, and the state said push it out. The transcript is updated for OnlyFans on this case for a price. Yeah, you have to pay for a lawyer somehow, I guess. Assembly line of inmates in the latest one seems to find something funny. Yeah, it's bizarre. I'm watching the feed still in case for some reason they pulled her in early and she's going to come up again. But I'm pretty sure we saw all of it. That was the status hearing, which is like a quick rubber stamp on. And here's where we are. Update the paperwork and move on. Lily, that's what we watched. Was just a quick thing. There's an inmate line outside the door, and there where that inmate guy came out and chained up and using the buddy system. I've been to those before, recovery addicts. Yeah, they've probably got them lined up and bring them in one after another. Let's see if there's anything.
Good morning, Justin. All right, going down, we're Ms. Ernst. Mr. Leach is here on behalf of Ms. Herrera.
Yeah, this is a different one. Okay, so that was it. What else is on the menu? I don't know if we have anything live today that we really want to follow. So I will tell you what I'm going to do. Toxic Orchid, this case, this was a lightning fast status hearing in the Courtney Clenny OnlyFans murder trial. Yeah, the lawyers probably earned a couple $100 for whatever they just did in that 3 seconds of her case being called. But the judge basically said it's a status hearing or an Arthur hearing where the judge is supposed to rule on whether or not she gets bond, whether she can bond out and get out of jail while she waits for her trial to start. There was concerns about that because the state said she's got tons of money, millions that she transferred to her dad after the murder and before she was arrested, or at least 1 point something million. She has the ability to make money very rapidly in pretty much any location as long as she has a web camera and the internet access. And she is a flight risk for that reason. She could run, you'd never find her. And I think isn't there some priors? Doesn't she have priors for skipping out? Or for missing court. Victim impact on Texas case. Exela, it was quick. We watched that last night. Amazing, powerful statements from family members, just one after another, standing just feet away, standing there facing Juan David Ortiz, and reading their statements, just one after another. Just it was like an assembly line getting through all those. But it was crazy. But it's done. Juan David Ortiz is been remanded to the custody of the sheriff and sent to prison, life without parole. He will appeal, though. He's already told us that. I'm sure she doesn't have a public defender. Tish, I think you're right. I think she would not qualify for a public defender based on her income level alone and disposable cash. No calls in the middle of the night, so that is good news. I'm just stiff and sore. I'm getting moving, and the meds kick in and stop the aches. Good luck, Toxic. The victim impact statements were done last night. Yes, right after the sentencing, that started. Let's see, she made $1.8 million in 2001. Yeah, and can probably make more because arguably this has brought her more attention. Now, it's possible that OnlyFans might say, no, we don't want you on our website. But I imagine there are probably other similar type websites that she could work on. Why did I think I'd get a little downtime after BP serial killer? That doesn't happen, CG. We go from one to another. Is Ortiz going to appeal? Yes, he is. And he's already requested an attorney, a public defender, to handle that appeal. We know that his 2 attorneys he has right now are not available. And so it will be a new attorney handling his appeal. So if I go on OnlyFans, should I ask if they have previous knife throwing conviction before sending payment? TW, if you go on OnlyFans, you're on your own. I can't help you there. Slept through the verdict. Well, Toxic, it could have happened in 5 minutes. It was so fast. The judge gave virtually no warning to the press and just read it and sentenced him all in one breath. It was super quick. Now I have to decide to keep the case or toss it, says Toxic. Are you talking about the Border Patrol? I'd say toss that one. Archive it. Make it go away. Make some room for something else. Let's see. The last family member got me last night. Color Me Abstract. The one that really got to me was what's his name? The bald guy with the beard that was really shook up during the ME examination of his sister. And as we found out that his dad had been murdered, his mom had been murdered, and now his only sister, his little sister, had just been murdered. That was crazy. And then he went on even further and said, and I've been where you are right now, to Juan David Ortiz. I've been there. I was charged with murder. And he said like I was sentenced to 22 years in prison. And he got out on parole. And the family member of the person he killed wrote him a letter and said, I forgive you. And so he, right there, as Juan David Ortiz is about to be hauled off to prison, says, I forgive you. And I want you to know that I was the one that told the DA to consider not pushing for the death penalty. And the DA was behind him just nodding. And it was amazing. I mean, there were some people who said, I can't forgive you. And there were some, but very many said, I forgive you. And I hope you change. I hope you repent type thing. Tom says, Recovered Addict, you're right. OnlyFans deleted and banned her account. So she's off that service forever. If you can call it service. Did he get only charged with 1 life sentence? That guy, yes, he did, because the capital murder charge only applies if he committed multiple murders. That's what makes it capital murder. So if he committed multiple murders in this little crime spree, then they find him guilty of capital murder, which is a greater charge than 4 individual murder guilty charges. So yes, he only got 1 life sentence, but it's life without parole. It's the maximum you can get short of a death penalty. So it does seem like 1 is less than 4, but in this case it was the greater penalty. It was the more serious charge. Okay, it will be deleted by Sunday, so anyone who wants to look at docs needs to go there before. Yeah, if anybody wants to look at the Border Patrol, head over to the Discord page, because Orchid needs to make some room over there, and it will have to go. And now that he's a decided inmate for the rest of his natural life, maybe we'll bring it back if and when he appeals, if it's successful. But I don't think we need everything back then, because it would be a completely different case if he wins an appeal. It would be completely different. He gave Erica credit. Yes, and at the very end, he also sort of lashed out at law enforcement and said, you didn't respond as you would have if they hadn't been prostitutes. If Erica wasn't the type, wasn't living the lifestyle that she was, you would have been quicker to find him. You would have, and maybe, 2 of these murders might not have happened. Basically, he says, I think we were let down by law enforcement. Let's see. What happens here? Heather Barnett says, Recovered Addict, almost 4K viewers. Really? Shout out to us OGs. Whoop, whoop. 4K viewers where? I only see about 150 of us just chilling and having a good time this morning. But we have had quite a few at different times. Subscribers, I think we're getting close to 4K. I think you're right, which is cool. We got a bunch more over this last Border Patrol case. He was convicted of murder and served 22 years. That's what I heard, but he doesn't look like old enough to serve 22 years. I was trying to do the math. And I know he was 2 years older than his sister who was killed, so I'd have to do the math and see it. He must have been like a juvenile accused of murder. Is that what you guys think? Is OnlyFans a sports site? Nope. No, Bella. It's not. I mean, I would get that TW, but the symbolism would mean more to the family. Okay, that was the other feeds viewers. Heather, that's hilarious. We've been there. We've had several thousand here at once, especially during DB during the sentencing phase. It rises and falls. But I'm grateful for the people who are here right now. His inkept was incredible. Do you know what we need? We need a cold case to solve on live stream. Crowdsourced crime fighters. And Matthew Harris, do you have a suggestion? Cold cases are notoriously difficult to solve. That's probably why most of them are still cold cases. But if all it takes is Google to fix it, I think we could do it. Or maybe we could do like some crowdsourced DNA research. It seems easy enough. I mean, anybody can do it, even like biology and accountants. Biologists and accountants can do it. She moved her account from OnlyFans to only prisoners, so we have been cut off. Yep, only prisoners get to see that now. I know the difference between the judge and attorney. Just commenting on my fever fog. Matthew Harris, we aren't over pneumonia here in our home. Man, I hope both of you feel better, KQD. That brain fog is a real thing, and it's crazy. Charlie's saying, yeah, we're going downhill fast, where we're scraping the bottom of the barrel in some of these cases. But we work with what we have available. Okay, he got the time when he was 15. Okay, that's what I was thinking. He had to have been a juvenile, and maybe he was tried as an adult. I don't know, but he was in jail since the age of 15. That's why he's still young. He told about how his little sister would wake up in the middle of the night and walk him to the bathroom because he was scared of the dark, and how she would defend him, even like fist fight, defend him against bullies. And I mean, yeah, he's like, yeah, they weren't perfect people, and we hoped that she would change her ways. We hoped that she would leave the life she was living, and just come back and get over the demons that she was battling with the addiction. But he says, you took that from us. We'll never see that. We can't have that hope anymore. It was heart-wrenching. Verdict Day always brings viewers. Yeah, but the viewers it brings in, if you notice this, they show up and they're like, hey, just got here. What happened? It's like, you want me to go over everything in like 2 seconds while not talking over anything that's happening right now? And it's sort of tough as a content provider. I like the numbers for sure, but everyone comes in, they're asking questions, and it puts a big burden on you guys to try to update in chat, in 60 characters or less, summarize the entire case for the new guy. What is the number of years for life in prison? Great question, Matthew. Does Texas have that number? Is it 80? So no court cases today or tomorrow, downer. And there may be, I can look a little bit more, but probably not one we want to follow a ton. Let's see. The OnlyFans one is done. Border Patrol is done. Yeah, so I'm not seeing anything on law and crime. We could look at some of the smaller courts, but they're not very well publicized. The AWP is sort of on hold, I think, right now. We've got the Aaron Dean trial out of Texas that's on hold till Monday. At least it's just on a pause till Monday. Let's see. This is the Idaho update, right? Anyone see any updates on the Idaho murders? Says Miss Chris. Suzanne responds, the only thing I saw was about the vehicle they were looking for. I've heard something about a stalker. somebody said they found somebody like a peeping Tom stalker type thing that had some injuries. Is this just a rumor, or is there some fact to that? Because I just scrolled around this morning looking for some information on that. I couldn't see anything official, so I'm not sure if that's just a product of the rumor mill, or if maybe they're making some progress and just not letting us know. Authorities looking for a car. Alexis will be the designated cold case accountant. Internet investigators unite. Keep an eye on the accountants. They're the ones with all the money, right? We'll be watching you, Alexis, but thanks for volunteering. It has, do you want a car chase? We had a car chase. We had a couple car chases, what, two days ago? Is that right? Let me go through here. I have to make the screen bigger. My eyes are still blurry from this morning. It's no good. Okay. Back up. Okay, we need some music. Okay, let's do this one. From Fox 11, we're going to bring this up just a little bit. This is a chase, California Highway Patrol in pursuit of an alleged hit-and-run driver. We'll kill the music because this is going to be good. I think we do have commentary from the sky. So this is the last car chase. We missed this one. This is a stolen work truck, which was accused in a hit and run, and the cops are like all over it. And the cool thing about this one is there are fireworks, right? It doesn't end in like a massive crash and bailout. It's sort of anticlimactic at the end, but the truck's in good condition right now. Mostly, you can see there's a tiny bit of damage on the left front forward area of the tire. It looks like they clipped something just a little bit, but they know it's a stolen truck, right? Michelle says, catch up on the Aaron Dean case, please. Thank you. I will do that. We're going to do that over the weekend before it starts again on Monday, because defense starts Monday, and we'll pick up that live one. Let's see. MB says, I thought last night when someone commented something about you when you make it big that we won't be able to do this. You reading comments and chatting with all of us. I'll enjoy it now. MB, I will try to keep it the way it is right now. Originally, I was reading like every comment when I first started. For those of you true OGs in the house, when there was just like 12 of us just chilling and watching true crime, I was reading every comment, and there were long pauses in between because I didn't have a lot to say because you weren't asking a lot of questions, and it was amazing. I will never forget that first day live streaming and how the smile I had on my face as we wrapped up for the night. I went to bed and I told my wife, that was so much fun. I enjoyed that so much, just doing that, just hanging out and talking with these people who love true crime. I said, I want to do this. And I went back the next day, and the 12 turned to 35. And there were 35 of you that were just hanging out. And the next day it was 85, and it went, that was during the DB case. So it went up from there. The next day was over 500. The next day we had 13,000 people watch the stream throughout the course of the stream. And yeah, it just exploded. It exploded very quickly, but it's been amazing. I hope we can keep this as much as we can. So, Michelle, I will catch up on the Aaron Dean case and get some details on that one. They did pick up a guy with cuts on his hands, says Katrina, up in Idaho. Okay, so this is what I'm wondering. Cuts on the hand, is there... am I missing the audio? No, I think the audio comes in later. As the eye in the sky has lit up the truck, and we've got plenty of California Highway Patrol behind it, but we'll see what happens. They picked a guy up with cuts to his hand. That seems suspicious, right? Have they been able to link him to anything? They're looking for a white sedan in the Idaho murder case. Is that white sedan linked to the guy with cuts in his hand? Sometimes when you just Google murder live trial on YouTube, you can find a live trial. It's not streamed by Law and Crime. Let's do it. Well, this police chase just kicks off because we've got a little bit of time. Do you want me to speed it up a little bit? I can make them drive a little bit faster if you'd like. The white Hyundai Elantra. Yes, we do have a chase. This is just a couple days old. I think it's 2 days old, out of California. Tom says, I find the term Peeping Tom highly offensive. I vote we change it to Peeping Ted or Peeping John or something else. Well, Ted and John, Tom, have already voted, and they were in favor of Tom. I'm not sure why, but it is unfortunate that they chose your name. I tried to go back and listen. I think they didn't call her case at all yet. Sunita, what I heard, the part that I think they called her case, they said when they said Arthur hearing. That's what her case was today, was an Arthur hearing. So I think they just called the case number, not her name. And so we'd have to go back and look for that case number, which I believe is 14137 is the case number in felony court. But this is a good one to watch because of how it ends. Ginger, this is a fun one. Hopefully we get the audio from the Sky, because the comments from the Sky on this chase at the ending are gold. It's fantastic. The guy's pedal to the metal. Yeah, I think they do go over 100 miles an hour a couple times on this one, and we see jumps. We see fireworks where they jump the car. They're going over intersections that have dips and big spray of sparks. Let's see. No DNA or links yet. I don't think the car and the guy are linked at this point, says Katrina. Would we know? Would the DNA be? The DNA wouldn't be back yet, right? It takes a while for that to process. Toxic says, I posted about a white Kia while they were asking about it in Discord. I hope we don't have a half day. I miss you guys when we don't hang out, says Chandra. Drive it like you stole it. No, I think he is. And you'll get a kick out of this as it goes on. Waiting for this audio to kick in. It's got to kick in because it's so good. It's not a full day. Feel free to use the voice chat in the Discord, says Toxic. Yeah, we can pop over there afterwards and have some fun. I missed it. I was supposed to the other day. I said I would, and I had something come up family-wise. But Celia says, down here the clerk does not update the course record quickly. Celia, you're in Florida, right? Is that what you're saying? Because the one thing I will say about Florida is the records are pretty easy to get a hold of. There are other states. I mean, if it's a federal court, you've got to pay through the nose just to do a search to find the name of the record. CG is still itching from the gal yesterday. That was rough. It was hard to watch that and not scratch just a little bit. Cup of Joe says, I need to dive into the Discord. Great community here. They are great, and it's a great bunch on the other side as well. I think they have a few that don't come here, and we have a few that haven't been there yet, but we need more crossover because that Discord is fantastic. They posted a picture of the white vehicle, and Chanley Painter from Court TV tweeted about it to help it get out there. What did they give any information about it, like why they're looking for it, or is it just like, this is a vehicle of interest? Do they think it was at the crime scene? Do they think it may have evidence in there? Or I need to know. At least not much traffic on the highway. Yeah, this one, I don't think he ever hits heavy traffic because of the time of day that he's driving. Wombat said, I know Southern Cali. I want to know how the I-5 is so empty. It's good to have everybody here, Chandra. Cup of Joe, you're always welcome. All right, let me figure out. We might have to skip ahead just a little bit until we get some audio, because not much happens right now. So let me go ahead and switch this. Sorry, you're going to see all the controls on the screen, but we're gonna switch the speed of this one. Oh, that was it. How do I do that? Right here. There we go. Settings, speed. Playback. We're going to crank up the speed here and make it a lot more exciting. Yeah, this was 2 days ago. Now we have a chase, guys, really. I mean, because now we're doing, what, 120 miles an hour? It was seen at the crime scene, the white car was. I wonder if they have like a video footage, like somebody's Ring doorbell or something that really would be interesting to see. See if we can make out the shape of the driver as far as features or details. Seen at the time of the murders. Moscow police have said the occupant of the car has critical information pertaining to the case. That sounds like a suspect in my head. Biden prisoner exchange for Brittany Griner leaves behind Marine veteran Paul Whelan again. Oh man, we took the basketball star over the Marine vet. Yeah, now the chase is good. Still no audio yet, but it does come in towards the end. Towards the end. Tom says, Recovery Addict, you know I used to really like you. Now I'm sad that I have to leave the channel because your comments on Peeping Toms are not helping me change the name for good. Well, Tom, I would change the name if I could, but that's not one of the things I have control over. Really, as a content creator, the few things I get to do is decide what the show is about, decide whose comments go up on the screen, and decide who wins the internet for the day. And that's really all they've given me power over. Okay, so this driver is actually doing a pretty good job. He sort of maintains his lanes. There are times when he seems like he gets really close to the cars next to him, almost like to intimidate them or maybe try to get them to swerve and cause the police to slow down or something like that. But we're gonna jump ahead just a tiny bit because this is interesting, but it goes on for an hour, right? And we can't go for an hour with no sound. So we're gonna skip ahead. Let's go right here. How about that? Still no audio. But a little heavier traffic, which makes it interesting. Look how close he is to some of these cars as he squeezes by him. I wonder if the channel dropped the audio on purpose on this after the fact. That'll suck because the audio is hilarious. There's a Fox 11 motorcycle chase on YouTube 5 minutes ago. Like, is it still happening or it just finished 5 minutes ago? Yeah, I'm not seeing. We've got a Louisiana Board of Parole hearing going on right now. A couple family dockets, some criminal, some like Bay County judge. I'm not seeing the live police chase. This driver's a rookie. If he isn't going to deploy ninja smoke and disappear, well, what's the point? He does the fireworks. The fireworks are good. Exela, I think it's not that California has more police chases per capita. I mean, they might, but I think the real thing is the news channels always have helicopters ready to go, and so when there is a chase, they just launch one. They have a lot of roads, a lot of traffic, a lot of people, and they just follow every time there's a chase. But you'll see some of the times when he passes these cars, he seems to just like squeeze up next to them, like almost intentionally. Nope, the audio is not there. I've checked. I might jump ahead on a different feed and just make sure we're going to get audio at a later time. Okay. Let's go over here. I'm going to check this feed for audio. Okay, so it does get some audio. Let's see what it happens. It might be after the fireworks, but audio comes in later, Kathy. I think you're right. I just checked on another stream. The guy thinks he's stealth by turning off his lights, really, and then he hits his brakes, right? It doesn't work, and he's in a white truck at night, which is highly reflective. I'll take a look. I don't know where my phone went. I'm not sure if Mrs. R.A. took the burner phone with her today or not. Let me ping it. Paging my phone. Nope, there it is. She didn't take it. False alarm. Okay, let's see if we had a notification on this one. I'm not seeing it. That's a bummer. I don't know why I didn't get the notification about the motorcycle chase. Oh, there it is. Test, live breaking. There was one Tuesday, another breaking on Friday, another breaking on Friday. So we're watching one from Friday, right? Or maybe a little after. All right. Pearl might be interesting or not. Let's check this out. We'll let this roll just a little bit. I think, where are we at audio-wise? I'm going to jump ahead. I might miss the, we're going to cut ahead to right here. Still no audio.
It's a Monday night. There isn't a lot of traffic out there, but you know this area, Gene Autry Way,
Perfect
the heart
timing.
of Anaheim, the heart of Orange County here, near Disneyland, and of course the Anaheim Stadium there. And that's where this pursuit made its way. And he was having to turn around because there wasn't anywhere to go. Those barricades, and he busted through one. Again, this started as a stolen vehicle, but first...
We're going to slow him down just a little bit.
Traffic out there, but you know this area, Gene Autry Way, the heart of Anaheim, the heart of Orange County here, near Disneyland, and of course the Anaheim Stadium there. And that's where this pursuit made its way. And he was having to turn around because there wasn't anywhere to go. Those barricades, and he busted through one. Again, this started as a stolen vehicle, but first perhaps as a hit and run. There was some sort of hit and run.
Look at that headlight.
Officers were on this vehicle.
It's like shining right down in front of the truck.
The plates came back
so I
as a
think he's
stolen
already bottomed out.
So this
here.
is one of the busiest tourist areas in the country right here.
Beautiful palm
We're
trees
not far
there.
from Disneyland. We know this is where there are a lot of hotels and people are in for the night, probably after taking their kids to Disneyland. And now we go to a U-turn. Are they going to be able to box them in? No.
Nope.
Now turning back the other way.
And they can pit this. They can pit this vehicle, even though it's a slightly larger, heavier vehicle. They don't want to do it to speeds much above 35 or 40 miles an hour. That's the threshold for the pit maneuver, the pursuit intervention technique that was designed to try to spin that vehicle out and bring this to an end so nobody gets injured. And that's what they're trying to do. And these officers, CHP, Orange County's on this, Anaheim as well, trying to disable this vehicle with the spike strips, perhaps, with that pit maneuver to bring this to a safe conclusion.
Well, we're watching this driver blow through red lights there, driving in really bizarre ways here, making this U-turn on these surface streets. Why this person got off the freeway
excited
after
because
going
I've
from
sped him up
Oxnard
a
all the
tiny
way down
bit.
to Orange County. The thought was you might even try to go to the border of Mexico, but no, gets off here in Orange County and now on these really wide open surface streets, as you guys were talking about, Rick Dickert. No traffic really.
And doing another 180 here, and
I'm not
we
sure
always
what that
ask
guy's
why,
name is.
how,
Rick
what's
something.
in their mindset? Well, they're trying to get away, and whatever way that they feel that they're going to be able to evade the police, the officers, the CHP, they're going to try for it. And why they decided this individual, we believe it's only one suspect inside that truck there, decided to exit the 5 freeway after traveling south from the San Fernando Valley through the East LA interchange into Orange County. We don't know. But now back onto the 5 freeway, the Santa Ana portion of the 5 freeway here.
So our photographer, Sam Dubin, tells us that white CHP vehicle is called a polar bear. It's used for commercial enforcement of big trucks. And that's what you see behind as well as we now head back onto the freeway. And Rick, if we get too close to Disneyland, we may have some challenges in terms of shooting this. As somebody who's been in Skyfox for so many years, can you talk about that?
And we already do. It's called a TFR, or a temporary flight restriction, although it's been in play since 9/11. They put that bubble around Disneyland, a 3-mile radius, 3,000 feet. So whenever we traveled in that general area up in Skyfox, we would have to travel, gain altitude, I should say, up to about 3,500 feet to get above that. But still, our equipment on Skyfox, state-of-the-art. You can see we're still providing these pictures. And it looks like, look at the front left side there. It looks like there's some sort of damage, perhaps,
I believe,
to the vehicle,
alleged hit and run, but it's also a stolen vehicle.
There. The bottom line, on the 5 freeway, back northbound now through Anaheim, on the 5 freeway again.
You mentioned possible damage there, but look at the speed that this driver's still able to go at.
Lights off.
Yep, lights off, still at 85.
They've been taking lights on and off, and after 22 years,
you can see that flapping around that bumper on the left.
That's what we were just talking about prior to our live coverage.
On the freeway, though, Rick, or
see, look how he just edges up against cars.
For aerial aviation. We have to stay away from that area, 3 miles around, 3,000 feet up, so that if any aircraft were to get close to Disneyland, we have to abide by that circle, that bubble, climb up above the 3,000-foot level for safety of all those that are at Disneyland. But now we're traveling northbound. And
I believe that is his name. That's what I heard, Charlie.
Again, all we have to do is climb up to 3,500 feet, still provide these shops, dip back down to maybe 1,500 feet, give plenty of space to the law enforcement airships that are up there. Bottom line, though, there's something damaged with that vehicle, with that truck.
Yep, something's not right on the front of that vehicle.
But the speeds, though.
He's still jamming. Look at 90 miles an hour there, and it appears
Thanks for the link, Rich.
that
I'll take a look at that one.
Left tire could be disabled in some way at this time. There's something flapping there. You see that, right?
Imagine what that must sound like at that speed, too.
Exactly.
In that car.
They probably can't hear it.
He's maintaining control. Again, if you're just tuning in, this pursuit started in Ventura County. It started with law enforcement, at least, as a hit and run. Law enforcement lit this vehicle up. They ran the plates, and those plates came back stolen. So we have 2 counts here for this vehicle. How it all started, how this car was taken over by that individual, we don't know at this time. But bottom line, it's a stolen vehicle suspect and a hit and run suspect traveling at a very high rate of speed back northbound, covering the same real estate that he just did, coming southbound out of LA County, out of the San Fernando Valley, now back out of Orange County, Anaheim, towards the north.
Yeah, again, going back towards the direction where this vehicle came from. The thought was that perhaps as far as this driver was going to the south on that 5 freeway, they might keep going towards San Diego and beyond, which we know is the Mexico border there. But here you have that driver turned around, heading now back northbound. And Alex, how far will this driver go? Back to Oxnard? Back to Ventura County?
Well, I mean, the big question is how damaged is this vehicle?
That guy, that is crazy.
How much can it take? Is that tire really damaged?
This is a utility truck. I think it can take quite a bit of damage. It's pretty tough.
Recently, a lot of instances of drivers who are desperate driving on rims.
No question. We've seen it all. And we've seen a lot of that just in the last year or so, especially since the pandemic, the last couple of years, where we've seen some crazy pursuits and drivers who are able to manipulate these vehicles that are damaged. And you can see there, this high rate of speed, our extreme nav system on it speeds close to 90 miles an hour, and you can see the CHPs right on his tail there and continuing to track them, tracking from the air and on the ground here.
And so, it looked like maybe it's the tire, maybe
all
it's
police
the bumper
chases
that was damaged as
should
well.
be watched at
And
1.25 speed.
We could get some of the video recued from a little bit earlier when it went over, and we saw sparks flying.
And Mark Rogandito, our sports guy, just gave me a little note here because he knows Anaheim Stadium very well, and it's possible
this guy at one time was driving in the Anaheim Stadium parking lot.
He may have damaged his vehicle going over.
He literally was driving around in the parking lot of the stadium.
Well, look at the speeds, though. Apparently, whatever's going on there with that vehicle, not slowing this driver down one bit. That is really
Joan, this one is from 2 days ago. We missed this while we were watching the trial. Actually, it was after the trial was over, but we'd been on all day, so we didn't follow this one live. But this is out of California. Stolen vehicle, possible hit and run.
Obviously, the California Highway Patrol is all of California. There's different units of the CHP based in LA County, based in Orange County, but that is one entity that has been on this. But now heading northbound on the 5 freeway, back towards where this pursuit first began. But again, it started in Ventura County, made its way into the San Fernando Valley.
So you can tell there are 2 police officers in that car because there are 2 spotlights being operated independently, one by the passenger, one by the driver, which is just impressive to follow a police chase and steer a car and steer a spotlight.
Speed at 90 miles an hour and maintaining control.
And that, I mean, think about how far this guy's driven so far. I mean, going from Oxnard to Anaheim, it takes a long time, even if you are going at 90 miles an hour, that's a journey as well.
And that begs the question, how much gas was in this vehicle? If he did steal it, was it a half a tank, a quarter of a tank? Did he have time to fill up before they hit and run?
100 miles an hour.
Lit him up and the pursuit was on? We don't know that. And obviously we know that the mindset of this individual is, he will do whatever he can to get away from officers. And we do believe it's just one individual in that vehicle at this time, according to the chatter, as we say up in Skyfox, that we've heard so far. Northbound side of the 5 freeway here, and now we're up to La Mirada, so almost right on the county line, Orange County, LA County.
You know, I feel for these motorists there on the road. We just saw a motorcyclist there on the far right. To see a car coming at you at these kinds of speeds or whizzing past you at these kinds of speeds, it's jarring, it's alarming.
And not knowing necessarily what's happening. I mean, they do have the lights and sirens behind them, and they will probably potentially be hearing the helicopters up above. I mean, most of us probably have had this.
It's California, so they
driving.
probably won't pit at 100 miles an hour.
It is amazing.
That's more of like an Arkansas move.
How fast it comes and goes.
And it's fast.
They're really flying.
And it's fast right now because of the time. It's Monday night. It's after 10 o'clock. The volume is light here. I'm not seeing any major.
Someone got to Cleveland Brown Stadium and did donuts on the turf.
In effect, with lanes blocked, at least at this moment. So this driver,
I'm guessing not a Cleveland
this
fan.
vehicle somehow, some way, traveling northbound on the 5, has a wide open freeway, and that's what we're seeing here. CHP knows that.
Look at the officer there, not following directly behind the vehicle. Following there in that lane.
That's to alert the people that are ahead.
They have to give somewhat, a distance of space, that space cushion, so that they can get a sense for what's happening. Obviously, they don't want to be. It's not going to do them any good if they're right up against their tail. Obviously,
if they're right behind that truck, then the cars ahead can't see their lights.
The strobe light from the CHP unit is illuminating. That's not the night center from the helicopter. They have a bright light. When you get pulled over,
that truck was beautiful. Did you see that?
That light comes on. That's
fully
the light
lit up.
that they're shining on that vehicle as we tighten up with our Skyfox, our Extreme Nav system, trying to get a sense of what's going on with this vehicle. Again, a high-speed pursuit. You're watching it here live on Fox 11, having started up in Ventura County. First came down as a hit and run. They ran the plates, found out that this vehicle was stolen as well. So multiple counts on this driver, in addition to, of course, reckless driving.
So we continue to move now as we head back towards LA County. So this pursuit has been in Ventura County, LA County, Orange County, now heading back towards LA County on the I-5. We have seen pursuits, Christine, in the past where CHP or other law enforcement is what's called so-called tracking mode, where they get far behind and give the driver distance. That is not what we are seeing here. The sort of the opposite of that. CHP
Joan,
right
it was guilty
tail.
of capital murder, life without parole.
Danger to other
automatic
motorists.
sentence.
We haven't seen pedestrians on surface streets as well. Noting that this driver is coming up on a freeway here, the 605 freeway. But again, this car came from the 5 up in Ventura County. I'm going to guess that driver stays
Hey,
on
Greg,
the
I saw
5
that
freeway,
text come in. I'll check it out here when we're done.
To areas that they know. Will this driver try to make his way? I say he because we don't know it's a male or female. Yeah. Will this driver try to make his way back to Ventura County?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, in a situation like this, and yes, that's something that we've seen a lot of, these people being pursued, these individuals being pursued like their comfort zone. We know our comfort zones, where we live, the neighborhoods that we are in. We know those back alleys and those areas, perhaps, that we could duck under. Not that we're going to be pursued, but if somebody is, then they know that, and they will go to that comfortable area. So we have seen that. But in a situation like this, where this guy was racing south, well into Orange County, who knows what his mindset is at this time. All we know is he is just really ripping up the 5 freeway, over 100 miles an hour with our Extreme Nav system. You can see the location, track it with us. 5 freeway northbound at Lakewood Boulevard, South LA County, heading now up to East LA. And that CHP unit is on its tail there. You can see that there's no way that they can do a pit maneuver right now with this other traffic out there. Perhaps they can throw out a spike strip, but what they would have to do, Alex and Christine, is hold all the other traffic back. They can't throw a spike strip down and let just the common folks who are driving up the 5 freeway run into that, cause their cars to be disabled, an accident perhaps. So there has to be a lot of planning ahead to make that happen.
And one wonders why this driver got off the freeway in Anaheim and nowhere else.
Exactly.
Like what led to that particular? Why would they drive towards Angel Stadium? And they go into the parking lot there?
Coincidentally, just so you guys know at home, just before we went on, Alex said, "Hey, has there ever been a pursuit on Disneyland, in the grounds of Disneyland?" I said, "I don't think I ever remember." And then it was almost there. It was at Anaheim Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, so sort of.
Whoa,
Okay,
little traffic.
Did we clip?
Yeah, there may have been a clip there. He hit the brakes. This is that stretch of the 5 where it narrows a bit.
A little bit of fishtailing there as well.
But it looks like they're
CHP right there.
CHP there too. Probably trying to holding back that traffic a bit, as I said. Maybe trying to look ahead and think ahead, being that this guy likes the 5 freeway. He traveled the 5 southbound from the San Fernando Valley all the way to Orange County. Now
they're going 3
you're
wide.
not seeing any traffic there up ahead. So maybe they were trying to hold that traffic back, as I just said, and throw that spike strip out so that only that vehicle would
right
be
now they're
impacted,
doing
but
about
there's some other
80,
traffic there.
95,
So he's
close to
flying.
100.
This is dangerous. They got to bring it
He's
to an end. They're doing
accelerating.
the best they can. Look at the speed, not only in the upper right corner with our Extreme Nav system, but watch this vehicle and the trailing officers, the CHP units, in relation to the other vehicles there.
Rick, do they have to bring it to an end, or can they let it run itself out? You got to keep in mind here, it's largely wide open. The driver's largely been on the freeway, not overly endangering the motorists alongside there, except for the high speeds, obviously. Do they let this car just run itself out, run out of gas? It comes to a close.
You know, it depends on a lot of things, and they may know more about this than we do, first of all, and about this suspect. Yes, we've seen situations where we go into what we call tracking mode, where they just follow the vehicle from the air. The high speed becomes a very serious danger issue with other motorists there. So to pull back those ground units to hopefully ease the mind of the person being pursued, to slow them down, but still track them from the air into any neighborhood that they end up in, because it will have to eventually
They're actually
end.
doing a
You're
good job as a
absolutely
driver.
right. So the bottom line is what they're
Gotta
going
give
to
them
do
credit
here
there.
is they're going to bring this person into custody.
Yeah.
They want to do it safely. And there's a lot of things going on right now that will come into the decision-making of the commanding officer of the lead agency. And being that this started in Ventura County, they still have some sort of connection to this.
Although we have seen instances where they do get away, so we know that's
Yeah,
what
there
they
was
wanna
one
do, but
on
they don't always
the other
accomplish
chase.
that goal. We want to show
the
you
same
some
day
video
this
from a
happened,
little bit
the
earlier.
car
If you're
got
just
away.
joining
It's a red
us.
pickup truck.
The live picture on the
Boom,
left.
right there.
Boom.
Boom.
That was right
Speed
by where the Angels play in Anaheim, driving over a speed bump. And then look at this, in the parking lot where you would go, sort of having all those barriers that
And
would
he didn't
set
know
you
where
up
to
in
go.
terms of where to go.
He did a 180.
Yeah, driving literally in circles, and then it's like, where do you go from here?
and then he had to bust through at least partially one of them, which is coming up here, because he found that he was pretty much in a dead end there. And you're going to see this in just a moment here. He's like, all right, I'm out of options. There's another barricade. There's more there on my right. What am I going to do? All right, I got to do something.
Yeah.
There's a street. There's a getaway street here. Boom, right there.
Boom. Yep.
But that goes to the mindset of the driver as to how badly they are wanting to get away. And it makes you wonder what they're willing to do to get away. And Alex, I'm reminded of the pursuit we did recently where the person got out of their vehicle, went onto somebody's property, carjacked their
There it is
vehicle.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this person could be more dangerous than we are seeing right here.
And just the other night, we saw another one where the man exited the freeway, the 60 freeway, got out of his vehicle. His vehicle still looked okay, but then tried to carjack a number of other vehicles before police took him down. So we've seen all kinds of situations like this.
I think he lost his right headlight
situations,
when he
and
went
we
out
don't
through
know
that barrier
what
of
is going on
the
with that guy.
stadium.
All we know is that he is running and trying to get away from law enforcement, and he could be armed.
And we saw another one recently where, there were multiple people in the car. Some ran off on the freeway, and then the driver got out near apartments, and everybody got away.
They make some fast bikes.
Sometimes that happens.
Those are
There's a
fast
higher chance
bikes.
of that happening when law enforcement is in that so-called tracking mode and they're not right on top of the person. I mean, if this driver right now were to stop anywhere close, there are multiple vehicles right behind that person that would likely take
East LA interchange.
he or she into custody.
So this is the 5 freeway northbound heading up towards the east side of Los Angeles in Boyle Heights. And we call it the East LA interchange because that's where the 5, the 60, the 10, the 101 freeways all merge. You can see the intertwining freeways there. And we'll see, because he has options here, but it looks like perhaps, okay, let's see if he's going to get on the 60 freeway here. But that's the interchange here, so our extreme nav is trying to keep up with him at this time. It still looks like 5 northbound here. It narrows there. You can see the roads narrowing. But again, this is the 5, the 60, the 101, and the 10 freeways where they all merge there on the east side of LA. You see the sign there, 5 northbound Sacramento. But he's veering off to the left, getting on the 101 portion of that East LA interchange. So that would take him
Those
up
roads
more
just
towards the
confuse me.
Hollywood area.
Look
But
at
getting
that.
off, there's more sparks there.
Whoa.
Took that
barrier.
off-ramp too tight. At a high speed, and there was some more friction there, at least we can say, with that vehicle, and some sort of left shoulder railing of some sort. You can see all the units there still back on that off-ramp there. So 7th Street. This is 7th Street heading towards downtown LA off of the East LA interchange from the 101 north portion of the East Los Angeles interchange. And now it gets more dangerous because now we have streetlights. Now we have bicyclists. Now we could even still have some pedestrians, even though it's at a late hour here.
Could you take the 6th Street Bridge?
Yeah,
We're not far from there, right?
You're going to cross over the, let's see, stopping. Is he just going to say, forget it, I'm done?
Front left tire is
Fire
flat.
in the front.
Oh, is it a passenger?
Okay, well,
Passenger door open?
There is a passenger door open now. And we were told that only the driver was in there, so it's unclear. I'm still seeing movement there. Yeah, there's 2 people in there.
Yeah.
There definitely are.
Drivers showing their arms out of the window there,
Look at the
signaling
front.
they
Look
are
at the
perhaps
front.
planning to surrender.
Yeah, look at the
That
front
tire's
wheel.
flat, right?
Yeah, the flat
It looks flat. It looks flat.
And
And
you wonder if that's a combination from earlier, if that would have just happened on that turn.
Yeah.
But
They're just saying we're done. All right.
Okay, well, he's
Thankfully.
going out, but will the other
But look at the driver.
person?
Looks like the driver's showing their. Is there another person on the passenger side? Or is that the door?
Not sure,
swinging?
but this individual is definitely doing what he's been told here. Showing his waistband to make sure he's not carrying a weapon of any sort. He's completely listening and abiding by what the police are telling him to do here. They'll tell him to lay flat, and there he goes, knees down. And here comes an officer, gonna cuff that. We believe that this was the.
It looks like they use a lot more force when you
Gun still
speed it
drawn.
up.
This is far from code 4, far from the 4 fingers. This is still an active situation.
And you wonder if anybody else is in that vehicle too.
It looked like there was still some shuffling around, correct? And
Yeah,
again, we heard that it was
why
just
hasn't the driver gotten out?
Yeah, perhaps what they'll do is they will say, "Stay put. We're going to get your buddy out of there first and get him cuffed, and then here we go." And then they're now telling this individual what to do. And yeah, there was two people in that vehicle. I don't know what he's trying. He's trying to make sure the vehicle's turned off. Definitely a flat tire. There goes the keys on the asphalt. Another male doing what he's told. Again, starting in Ventura County.
Is there another person in the vehicle that those keys came flying out like that?
I thought it was him who dropped them. I may be wrong, but it looked like he threw those keys down on the ground. He's in a hoodie here. He's being told what to do. It looks like he's trying to pull up his hoodie to show that he doesn't have anything in his waistband. Officers, guns drawn. They got this guy for sure. There he goes. He's got the low waistband just like his partner there did. And showing these officers that he does not have any weapons at least concealed in his waistband, and he's doing exactly what he's been told as well.
It looks like young guys there.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
you can see that suspect really trying to keep his hands visible there.
Yeah,
to
he's doing what he's told.
Stepping far away from that vehicle.
That doesn't make him doing right with what he did for maybe 2 hours.
No, thank goodness nobody got hurt.
Yeah,
yeah,
and he's backing up and doing exactly what he's told. Hands drawn. They'll probably tell him to kneel down as well, and he goes down. And he will be cuffed, and then they are going to
I don't
clear
know. It
that.
Looks like there's somebody else.
Yep, there is. I think there's a third person.
Well, those keys came flying out, and that suspect there had their hands up. So I was like, how did that happen?
Okay, here comes the other door.
It's a female. There's a gal there, and maybe she's the one who pulled the keys out and had him and said, "Stop this madness."
Wow.
So here's a
we also
third
don't
person.
know the story behind the stolen vehicle, how it got stolen.
Who it belongs to? Was it? We have no idea. If any of these people were in that vehicle against their will, you never know. I mean, we find out stories on these after the fact. But this female now is doing what she's told. She's going to be cuffed, and then they're going to make sure there's no one in the back area.
Want to come out?
They keep coming out, and we'll see. And they're going to search the vehicle. Clearly, that front left tire is flat. There's damage on the front driver's side bumper, as we saw earlier.
Okay,
another person.
This is like a clown car.
Wow.
Well,
Jesus
obviously
Christ.
it's a group of people in the
number
car.
4, another female. So it was 2 couples out for a ride. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they seem especially young.
Yeah,
the guys
they do.
don't seem like big fans of belts.
No.
And we're now
Good morning,
making our
Miss
way.
Christie.
Wow.
Welcome.
I wonder what the backstory is here.
Yeah, I just hope there isn't a child or something in the back too, because you never
slippers?
know.
What is that?
Yeah,
Flip-flops of some sort.
Something's going on there. Regardless, this is suspect number 4. 2 females, 2 males, a male driver. Initially, we had heard it was just the driver. We were wrong.
That was bad info.
There's 4 individuals here. Guns still drawn.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering.
Maybe they feel that there's someone else in there. Oh! Here comes
another one. Yeah. Yep. That's
What kind
police.
of party was happening in this vehicle?
Here comes number 5, everybody. Wow.
I mean, can you imagine what the conversation must have been like in that vehicle during all of that? And the decision on where to go and what to do and go to Angel Stadium and the whole thing?
Well, and it seems
It
like
was a
the
double
officers,
date
like
with
I
a
said,
third wheel.
Stadium.
That's what it was.
Sometimes, you know, a lot of times the officers who are trailing these suspects know a lot more than we do as we watch. And they probably knew. They were shining that light inside, even though the windows were tinted. They knew that there were multiple people in there before we did, obviously. So this 5th suspect being taken into custody.
I don't think he can fit any more people.
Yeah,
in the back?
I don't think he can.
I mean, the people already in custody could have given them information as to how many people are in that vehicle.
And that's one of the, okay, those are the 2 officers there. The individuals who have been cuffed are going to be in the units further back behind what we're seeing here on the lower right side of your screen. Now they're going to approach the vehicle. So now they believe it's clear, guns drawn. They're going to search the back, the entire cab there, and make sure it's clear. And when it's clear, finally, they're going to throw up those 4 fingers, the code 4 there. And there they go. There's the 4 fingers from that female CHP officer.
Well, we don't know everybody in that vehicle was a willing participant as things continued on for a lengthy pursuit. A lot of investigation is going to happen here and questioning as to the 5 there that were involved in this. But we had, 3 male and 2 females
Some of them
in
right
that
there.
truck.
They're not in the units yet that you can see. They're cuffed. You can see the female on the far right there, a male in front of the back unit there. 5 people inside that truck. Thankfully, we did not see
I think they turned out to be
major
teenagers,
incidents.
all
we saw
teenagers.
Perhaps a couple of clips there. So hopefully nobody, no innocent individuals were hurt during this. We don't know how it started and if that did happen up in Ventura County. Bottom line, it's come to an end here on an overpass across the Los Angeles River.
Yeah, well, the 2 things.
As soon as they got a flat tire,
they're
they're like, oh,
driving
okay, we're
to
done.
the Big A and through the parking lot there, and then this just parade of people
coming out.
just
Never
came
assume
out
there's one.
It's a
from
code
every
sign they
direction.
give.
When we were initially told there's just one person in the vehicle.
Especially when
It
there's
turns
lots
out
of
that was
siren noise and
wrong.
stuff, you can
All
see
right,
what it means.
It
Code
looks
4.
like we're wrapping things up on
It's all
this
clear.
one. Good news is nobody was hurt despite those very high speeds on this one.
All right, so there was. We got the police chase in. So I like it. I like that, especially because the announcer, he was so excited. So excited about the whole thing, and it's even better at 1.25 speed. So a joyride in a stolen truck, code 4, all clear, right? And they just do it by holding up 4 fingers, and the guys in the stack do that, the people who are up at the car, so that the people back behind know that they can lower their guns, because they're sort of being covered by the riflemen and the shotguns and the pistols behind them in case something goes wrong. In Texas, it signals the police helicopter. It's code 4, all clear, giving them permission to fly home. 4 fingers means all clear. That's right. So, yeah. Tag, welcome. Hope you got to see the chase. Good to have you here. Bet the girls were yelling at them to stop or to drive faster. You know, you never know which type you get. Continued to 3/8. Tish, thank you. We were waiting for that date. It sounds like it was a 90-day continuance. Is that right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. They said that who was it that wasn't ready? Was the state not ready? And they asked for the continuance. It was a lot of police cars for just that. Shannon says, good morning. My first meetup. Hope everyone is doing well this morning. It is just a meetup today. We don't have any court cases to follow. We thought we were going to follow the hearing on the OnlyFans. It was just a status update, really. It was an Arthur hearing, I guess, out of Florida, and it happened in about 3 seconds in the middle of about 20 other cases. It was like all in one breath. They took care of everything. Sorry I'm late. Is court on? Shane, not today. The court we're going to be picking up on Monday is the Aaron Dean trial, which is already finished with the prosecution. So we're going to do a catch-up. I'm going to try to make a video, maybe release that tomorrow if I can, catching you up on what happened in the Aaron Dean trial so far, what the story is. It's a shooting. It's an officer-involved shooting where the officer responded a 911 call to an address where the neighbor had called because the door was open. He shows up, shines his light in the window, and shoots the babysitter who had a gun. But now the officer's on trial for murder. So we'll be looking into that one and see where that's at. The state was not ready today on the OnlyFans case. I believe that's correct. Free steak knives given out at Stabby Girl hearing. What was the Stabby Girl? Which story was this? Is that the OnlyFans or the? Because that was just like, I think it was just one stab, right? It was just one jab into the shoulder, and really just he bled out. For a second, I thought it was Friday because we're too chill in here. It's almost like a Friday. It's like Friday light is what we have, or Friday Eve. Can we count that? Rick Thomas says, OnlyFans model accused of murdering boyfriend in Miami to stay jailed until trial. So in that process, they basically said no bail, if that's the case. Sentencing for Micah Valva today. This Christie, I haven't followed it. Where would that be at? Give me a quick rundown on that case. The Dean incident happened shortly after Amber Geiger trial as well. I have to say this is the first trips when I stopped at Brahms for breakfast, and I'm eating breakfast there from now on. road trips. Brahms for breakfast apparently is a good thing. Tag endorses it. Where are you at? That's 75 degrees. Can I come visit you? It's 19 in Iowa. 19. That's chilly. It's 64 here in North Carolina, which is beautiful. It's shorts and t-shirt weather. But all right, we've had a great morning already. I've got a lot of research to do today. I've got some videos to make and some homework to do to catch up, both for tomorrow as well as for next week. I will also keep my ear to the ground as far as other police chases if they happen. I'd love to have a daylight police chase because it's just easier to follow the car than the nighttime police chase. But hopefully we'll get one of those here this weekend as the holiday season wears on and we get closer and closer to Christmas. Maybe the stress of the occasion will cause someone to run from the cops. But before I go, Matthew Harris, if you want to put a link in chat really quickly, I'd just like to encourage people to run over and pop over and just watch one of his videos. Just watch one of his videos. It doesn't matter which one. Just choose one you haven't seen and give it a watch and a comment and a thumbs up. That would be great. I sure appreciate Matthew being here in chat. He is our resident lawyer. We do have some others here as well. Cat Law, I think you're a lawyer as well, if I remember correctly. But it's good to have you guys, and I just want to show some love in return. So thank you very much. Is there anything I need to cover, or any answers you guys need before we wrap up for the morning? Tish says the state asked, but the defense agreed. I'm not sure either one is ready. I think defense is fine with a long delay. They'll just agree to all the delays. They don't want a speedy trial on this one. Bail was denied. CG says, Recovery Addict, thank you very much for making it back to live stream last night. It's not unnoticed. Well, you know, I apologize for missing it. I've done this a couple times now. I think it's never going to happen, right? We've waited all day long. It's almost 7 o'clock at night. We can safely shut down the stream and expect it to go tomorrow. And then, half an hour later, boom. So we have a fun video coming out at noon today, says Matthew Harris. How to record police without getting arrested. This will be a good one. I will watch that one. There's the link right there in chat. So if you haven't already subscribed to Matthew Harris Law PLLC, do give a subscribe to his channel. He's fantastic, and you will not regret it. Weatherwatch says, Recovery Addict, can you leave the stream up so we can chat for the day? We'll pitch in pickles. I could leave it up for a little bit, but it's just me doing like research, and I feel bad. I feel like if I'm live, if that live button is in the corner, when someone clicks it, I would think that they expect content, that they expect value for what they're getting, and so I don't want to like tarnish the sanctity of the live button. I guess that's what it is. I try to have something for them when they come live instead of just a splash screen or behind the scenes of me working at my desk. What about the diplomatic immunity case? Which one is that guy? Because diplomatic immunity is limited to certain individuals, and based on their position. That might be interesting. Weatherwatch says I'm only teasing. Well, I thought about it briefly, but we might pass on this one. There are other times where I will leave it open, like we did yesterday when we expected to come live again. I had the stream scheduled so you guys could pop in and chat and talk before I showed up, and that was good. I might do that again in the future when we know we're going to be live again, but just don't know when. I'm sure RA could use a couple hours off after last night. I will tell you, the whole RA family is gone right now. It's just me here. They're off on a field trip. Checking out a Civil War museum. I think an old Civil War Ironsides museum. So that's fun. They're going to have a blast there. Just put up the title, live chat. That's going to be it. You get what you get, no promises. I might work on that. I do need to work on some of my graphics so that there's a little more for you to see and a little more clarification when things happen. Matthew says, I would be embarrassed for people to watch me research. How do you spell Gouda cheese? Gouda. An American diplomat's wife hit a teen off a motorcycle, and the United States refused to extradite her to the UK for sentencing. She appeared via Zoom. So this is in the extradite her to UK. So she's in the US. She's from the UK, and we refused to send her to the UK. We want her to face justice here. You probably would enjoy some downtime from being on screen. You'll be missed. Tish, I will tell you, I love what I'm doing. I love this, and I can do it, 9 hours a day, and I'm not drained. I'm not exhausted when I'm done. It's like it energizes me to do this. So that's why I'm cool with doing a live stream. But I want to have something for you. I don't just want to stand here and talk and do nothing. So if I don't have something for you to show you, I want to be researching it and get ready for the next show. That's what I want to do. Richard Davis, no way. We love Speed Demons. They keep the lights on. I subscribed the other day, but you might want to boot me now. That's awesome. Okay, you guys are amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here, all of you. It's been fun. It was a little bit of a quick one, bounced around quite a bit, but it's good. The sun's not in my eyes. It's time to do research. We're gonna get going on that on my end. I will stay live, or not live. I will stay here at the desk. You can always reach out on the burner phone. The burner phone is here. I did verify that I have it in my possession. So I've got quite a few texts and videos to watch. You guys sent me already. I'll try to get up to date on. Meanwhile, I'll be watching for high-speed chases or just some crazy court antics in some of the smaller courts that sort of fly under the radar. But that'll be good. So give everybody a hug that you love. Please smile at somebody, make their day a little bit better, and stay safe till we go live next time. We'll see you.